using your self-defense sticks. And when I say thugs, I mean any kind of criminal who's trying to hurt you or take away your life and dignity. We see in the news today, there's another story of a woman out for a jog, mother of 5, and she's brutally assaulted and murdered by someone who's not supposed to be here, who did the same thing in his country before he crossed our border, running from his police. And he's assaulted many people already in our country. And I want you to have some skills, some ability to defend yourself, no matter who the aggressor is. You're out for a run, if you're in your home, if you're shopping, if you're with your family, and you don't happen to have one of these, or you can't get to this in time, I want you to know how to fight with sticks, because sticks are everywhere, and you can use sticks to defend yourself. Now, the first stick we're going to talk about are Eskrima Arnis Collie sticks, and these generally are about the length of your arm. The way you measure these is from the tip of your finger into your armpit, and these are aluminum craft or aircraft grade aluminum, and they have this here, which is meant to bite, this here, which is meant to hold in your hand. And the way you hold a stick about this length, you always have a little bit coming out of the bottom. That's so you can jab with it. You can also trap and strip a weapon out of somebody's hand if you know how to use it that way. But these are very simple. They're often used, you'll see them in demonstration, doing something called Sinawali, which is just a pattern, a weaving pattern, and they hit them together with each other. Sometimes they put machetes in their hand and they do the same kind of thing. But a lot of that's just for demonstration and for show, and it builds skill. It'll build your speed, power. It'll make you hit a lot harder, hit a lot faster. We'll grab that stick in a minute. But they're very simple sticks. The length is what's important. I'm going to put one down because I'm going to show you how to use it in self-defense. And when we do that, I'm going to show you with just one, because you might just be able to find one stick to pick up about this length, about the length of your arm, that you can use to defend yourself. And you can see if the threat, the punk, the scum, the guy who's trying to hurt you and take your life, take your dignity, take your freedom, has a blade, then you still have great reach advantage. If you have something made out of a hard material like this, it doesn't have to be aluminum or metal. It could be wood. It could be a hard plastic. Like, this is the same length as most of those sticks that you use to clean your windshield at the gas station. Put in the comment section below some other sticks that you can think of in your daily environment that you'll be able to pick up and use in self-defense. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is putting it between yourself and the threat. Your other hand is up and open. You have this first angle strike. Think of striking into his temple, his jaw, his neck, his upper arm, his lower arm, maybe that arm that's reaching, trying to grab you or trying to stab you, smashing that. And the second angle is coming off of the opposite shoulder. So you would practice angle 1 and angle 2, and you want to make a nice, straight, angular attack, a follow through coming all the way through. And then you're going to add an angle, which is coming up from the same hip. So this is your right hand, you come up your right side, and you're striking. And again, he might be reaching out. This is a really hard, effective, fast strike. Maybe that's the side of his jaw or the side of his head. You can quickly strike. And if you could feel what I feel in my hand, this is extremely hard. This is going to do a lot of damage in self-defense. And then coming up and off of the other angle. Notice that you're always bringing this through the center line of his body. You can go low to the knee, you can go into the ribs, you can go up into his face or up into that hand. So you have angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 is going to be this horizontal strike. And think about coming through his head, through his neck, through his arm, down to the knees or into the legs. It's all just a simple horizontal strike, and your palm is facing the sky. So if you run into his body, it's not going to pop out of your hand. It's going to run into the web of your hand. For the same reason, you'll turn it over when you bring it back. And again, very fast, explosive strike through the center line of the body. Always fight from behind your sticks. Now, putting those together, you have 1, 2, palm up, 3, palm down, 4, palm up, 5, palm down, 6, and you're going to come through 7 on the top of his head, and 8, you're going to jab that up in through his throat, in through the chin, maybe his nose, his teeth. You're going to ask yourself the question, what can I remove or destroy for self-defense? When the thug is trying to hurt you and you need self-defense techniques against a thug using your self-defense stick, you're going to ask yourself, what can I remove or destroy? His ability to see, his ability to breathe temporarily or permanently, his ability to be awake. All these come from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. I put the link in the description below. I also put a link to get a pair of Eskrima or Kali sticks. They're super inexpensive. These aren't made anymore in this style, but you can find something similar from that page, that link. So from here, striking through 1, 2, and the way you practice is you put the same foot forward that you're practicing with. So this is your right hand, put your right foot forward, and then switch. Practice the other hand evenly or just as many times as you practice your right. You want to practice the left so that you can fight with both hands evenly. Now there's a motion you'll see a lot of guys who are practitioners of Filipino martial arts will hit their hand. And that's to simulate that if you were doing those same angles using something like this, the blade, you are using this to help it come back out of the target, out of whatever you just stuck it in. There's something that happens and the muscle will hold on to the blade. That's why if you look at, I've got a lot of K-bars. I'll bring those on one time, much longer fighting knives I got from the military. But if you have a fighting knife, you usually have some kind of like a blood groove. There's a little hole there, and so the blood can come out so that it doesn't create a vacuum if it goes into the belly of a muscle. You want to turn it and then pop the hand, and that pops it back out. That's the reason I wanted to give you that. You'll see a lot of guys who are, they're popping their arm, and they're doing this when you see them demonstrate the Filipino martial arts, Eskrima, Kali, or Nis, is for that reason. It's a habit you want to get into to allow yourself that if you are fighting with a blade, you'll be able to stay in the fight, not lose your blade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch your feet. Now, these are not the only strikes. There are many more than 8 that you can do, but I want you to think self-defense using a stick. So self-defense against thugs using your self-defense stick, that's about the length of your arm, which is the Eskrima, Kali, or Nis stick. Those are all kind of interchangeable names for different styles in that world of Filipino, Indonesian martial arts. You'll also see sticks about this length in other styles too, some Okinawan styles, but the techniques are often different. I think the FMA guys, the Filipino martial arts, are the ones who've mastered this length of stick. They have some of the best techniques. And then they add spinning. Anytime you add a spin, your strike becomes a lot harder, and you can pick up all those techniques and practice those. I also want you to see you can grab it with 2 hands and smash him back. Think about sticking this in through his teeth or his nose, smash his nose. Again, what can you remove or destroy? His ability to see, breathe, all those things. From here, you can throw in some Irish stick fighting techniques, right? Snapping that wrist, snapping the wrist over. It's very effective with this length of a stick. Smashing here, turning the wrist here, letting it come back, bouncing against that hand as you strike very fast, and then down over the top of the head using a stick this size. Now, you might not be carrying this with you. The question is, how can you carry these with you? You can put them into a backpack and tell someone if they ask that you're Daredevil, or you can tell them, hey man, I'm in martial arts class. I'm going to I'm in an online martial arts class, which is true because you were here with me. I'm going to the park to practice my technique. And then if you had to pull it out against a thug who's trying to hurt you, take away your life, your dignity, your freedom, this is a great thug stopper for self-defense. So we're going to move on from this because I'm not going to spend the whole time. I've got a lot of videos on this channel if you want to go deeper into some of these techniques. I am not a Kali guru. Guru is the term a lot of the Filipino martial arts use for their instructors. Like in Japanese or Okinawan, you hear sensei, which means teacher. You'll hear sabum or kwangjang nim, sabum nim, kwangjang nim, dosa nim. These are all terms that you'll hear in Korean martial arts for mister, which also can be an honorific for teacher. You'll hear shifu or sifu. Some people joke and call it seafood. If they're in Chinese style or styles that are related to Kung Fu, you'll hear that term sifu, which means teacher, or you'll hear guru or professor in a lot of these other styles. I'm going to grab my other stick. We're going to go down in length. We're going to go now to the Japanese Tambo, or the Okinawan Tambo, which you can see. The other one came all the way into your elbow or your armpit. This one comes just to your elbow. And the way you're going to hold this club is like this first, and you have it in this position. Now, this is a little bit easier to carry with you than the longer stick. But the point is, you might not be able to carry any stick, but you find them in your environment. Now, if I were you and you were going out for a jog, and especially if you're a woman or somebody who's afraid of a violent assault, then if you're not going to carry one of these, carry that pepper gel, not pepper spray. Pepper spray will spray them and spray you at the same time. Everybody's going to be choking on it. Pepper gel is going to get on them and stick on them, and it's going to be a little bit more effective. It's going to have a reach advantage, so you're going to be able to spray them a little bit farther away from you. It's also going to be on them when the police come to pick them up, hopefully, and that'll be proof that that was the person who was assaulting you. Or you can carry, brass knuckles. I see some ladies that I've worked with, they'll put the keys through their fingers and they'll run like that, or they'll run with a taser. But the key, the most important thing, and this is a self-defense video, is situational awareness. So take your earbuds out. I cannot tell you how much that makes you, that reduces the chances of you being a violent assault victim, is if you just get off your phone. Learn how to listen to your heavy breathing and not let your mind wander away into your music, especially if you're running in an area where there are known assaults. Along the beach, here, people run on the beach all the time early in the morning. Predators know that. They're waiting for young women to come running by, or single women or solo women, women by themselves, come running by to grab them and to assault them if they're out there. So those predators are going to love when they see you in those earbuds sticking in your ear, because they know that you have no situation where you have no idea that they're there lurking, waiting for you. If you just take them out and you listen, and then you'll hear the beautiful birds. If you're running in the woods, you'll hear the traffic. If you're running on the street, you're not going to get run over as likely to be run over or have a car, swerve and hit you. You're paying attention. So take that first step of self-defense, situational awareness. Then, if you can, with a stick, we're going to work on this Tambo now. You're going to hold it in this position, and then that first motion is just a quick, violent, explosive. You want to think immediate, direct, explosive right into his face. And again, what can you remember to destroy? The Principles of Self-Defense from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. The link is in the description. Read it, especially if you're at all serious about protecting yourself or your loved ones. You're holding it here so he can't grab it as easily. You smash in the nose, smash in the teeth, smash in the throat, smash in the solar plexus, smash. These are all straight strikes. The second one is bringing it through, twisting your wrist a little bit and popping him along the side of his face. Just a quick, fast, explosive slap with this hard piece of oak across his face. The next one is stepping in and reverse jab with that long piece going into his throat or his teeth or his nose or into the solar plexus, into the groin. Maybe he comes up and grabs you from behind, and then you jab him this way, and you turn and you jab this way, which is a very powerful strike. Always stepping away and turning at the same time to get away from him and make him stop hurting you. So you have thrust, strike this way. Then you can grab it with two hands in this split grip, and you can smash him in his face and push him back and get him off of you. And then you can bring it down with two hands as hard as you can. Just rake it into his face and then pull the whole thing down, hitting anything and everything you can to knock him onto the ground. Now, you can also hold it in this position. Traditionally, if you were a martial artist, you practice like this. But I don't want you to even care about that. I just want you to learn how to fight with sticks as a human being without a title, just somebody who wants to stay safe. Learn how to use this stick. From this position, you have this quick, fast, explosive strike. Notice that your hand opens. Your fingers don't come off, but your hand opens and then it closes. And then you turn your wrist. And then you throw your hand like you're throwing a punch, striking him hard in his face to make him back up. This is how you stop thugs when you need to defend yourself, self-defense against thugs, using your self-defense sticks. Bringing it this way, across the side of his face, and then back the other way. Coming back here, that turn of the wrist that we picked up from the Irish stick fighting style, using this Okinawan Japanese Tambo. Now it's multicultural, right? So you're striking here, smashing here, blasting there, strike on the top of his head, And again, if he's behind you, now you have that short end of the stick. Stick that into his ear, stick it into his neck, stick it down into his groin, stick it into his ribs, and then turn and fight him going in that direction. Now that's the Japanese, the Okinawan Tambo. We started with the collie. We went shorter. We're going to go longer before we go really short. And I want to show you, let's do the walking stick. Because a walking stick can be any length that you want. Maybe you're out for a hike, you're not out for a run, and you're using a trekking pole. You can use this trekking pole and bring this straight forward. You can bring it up under his chin. You can bring it across his face. You can turn your wrist. It's almost like you're doing a punch, and then you turn your thumb down at the last second. That little short stick was oily. And then, bam, blast him on the top of his head, breaking everything that you can for self-defense. You can throw it into two hands, almost like you're answering your phone. Bring your stick up here and step and thrust. Pull your hand down, sliding your backhand forward, smashing him across the neck. Bring this straight punch into his face, bringing it across here. So in this position, it's the back hand. You're out for a hike. Your hands are up and open. Back up. I'll defend myself. Smash him under his chin. Strike him on the top of his head. Answer your phone. Thrust through his throat or his teeth. You can bring it straight up, smashing him here. You can slide your hand down and then push the backside forward, striking the side of his head, sliding in the same way, sliding your hand against the length of your staff, smashing the side of his head. Now this is the Cane Master's Jo, J-O, which means middle-sized staff. It's Okinawan or Japanese also. These are generally walking sticks, hiking sticks, more like a trekking pole, and will come up to about your armpit. This is 54 inches. These are made in hickory, and it's almost unbreakable, and it hits extremely hard. It's a great way. Now, if a dog is attacking you, you asked me recently, how do I defend with a cane or a walking stick against a dog? The first thing you can do, or you want to do, is get behind your stick. Now, he might be behind you already. You can put it there and push straight down, either sliding or just with two hands, and go for striking the dog in the face and in the nose. If you can, if he's just coming at you and he's starting to bark, and it looks like he's going to bite, put your stick out there, allow him to bite your stick, and then wrestle with him. And don't take the chance of fighting against the dog and trying to hit him and miss him and have him get through your defense and bite you, but let him grab the end of your stick. You had your walking cane, you could stick the crook out there and let him wrestle, hold with two hands, and till someone else comes to help you, especially if it's a pit bull who is off the leash and violent and attacking or whatever and mauling people. Let him bite and go after this stick. If you have to, smashing the top of his head and onto his nose, especially if you can, but smashing if you have to. With the cane, you can also slide your hand down and strike down in that position as he's coming in. But if you can get a dog to bite onto your stick and wrestle with your stick, then you're going to avoid most violent or being mauled by a lot of dogs. And a lot of dogs, they'll go for that. They'll go for that stick, and then they'll just get stuck in that process of wrestling with your stick. And that's not my theory. That comes from professional dog trainers who say, if a dog attacks you and you have a jacket, put the jacket in his mouth. Let him wrestle the jacket. Take your shirt off if you can. Let him wrestle your shirt. Put a stick in his mouth. Let him wrestle the stick, and he'll wrestle that stick instead of coming after you. Now, after the Jo, I want to show you, this is the Irish Shillelagh, but this is also the same as a 36-inch walking stick that a lot of people, it doesn't have to look like this. This is briarwood. This is fancy, made in the town of Shillelagh by one of the original Shillelagh family makers in Ireland, in County Wicklow. Anyway, so this is the authentic thing. It's got lead shot in it, but this could be a silver ball, a brass ball, a gold ball, be a skull head, it could be whatever walking stick you like to use, or it could be a 36-inch dowel rod you pick up from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever do-it-yourself store, Ace Hardware here in the States. You sand it up and you oil it down, and now you have a walking stick. This 36 inches is a little bit easier to carry than the longer Joe, the 54-inch Joe. And this looks more common. You'll see a lot more people. I've seen several people today already walking with walking canes and walking sticks. So from this position, you're standing with one foot in front of the other one to make yourself a smaller target. When a thug comes up, you defend yourself, self-defense against thugs using your self-defense stick. Bend your knees and bring this up, smashing this through his teeth. You can bring the backside up quickly under his chin, maybe up between his legs, smashing him between the legs. There's that answer the phone again. Step in and thrust like a rifle bayonet attack. Slide your hand down, bringing the back forward, smashing him. Remember, you're trying to remove or destroy his ability to be awake, breathe. All of the principles of self-defense in Tim Larkin's book, Violence is the Answer, which is in the link in the description below. But and I keep putting that in here because I really, really want you to read that book. When you read that book, it changes your whole perspective on self-defense, and you move away from thinking about what martial art is best. None of them are. Self-defense principles are best for self-defense. All martial arts techniques are good, and you can learn them, and they all have great value. And I love martial arts. I've been doing it since I was 9. So any martial art is great if you use the principles of self-defense. Learn what those are. Bend, smash, bring this up here, answer your phone, go through the middle, smash the side of his head, thrust him back. There are so many ways you can use this walking stick, the Joe, the Japanese Tambo, the Okinawan Tambo, Kali stick, a screamer stick, our knee stick, whatever you want to call it, baston, and of course the walking cane. Walking cane, similar things, smashing on top, bring it across his face, bring it back, bring it down here, 2 hands thrusting, pushing, box his ears, chop this part into his face, ripping the skin off of his face for self-defense, smash it back up through his teeth. A lot of ways to defend yourself with a self-defense walking cane. I have 600 videos on the Cane Masters self-defense walking canes and other canes that are not made by Cane Masters on this channel. If you want to learn how to fight with a cane, I've been teaching people how to fight with canes for many, many years. And a lot of you have been fighting with canes with me. I just wanted to show you one more option. This is 36 inches, same as the other walking sticks. Extremely effective in self-defense. But I want to go back to the little one, because as I saw it today, I thought, I'll show you the one in my pocket first, because you can carry this with you wherever you go. And it looks like a massage tool. It is a massage tool. Push into that, the muscle adhesions, break them up. Gooey, sticky muscle that makes all your body hurt. You roll it out like that. So it's a massage tool, but it's also a loaded fist. So when you smash him in his face, when he won't let go and he won't get off of you, or you stick this part into his eye, or smash it into the skin and the nerves in his face, and you just break it down, or you stick it at the top of his chest and break it down, and you stick it into his throat, and you press until he lets go of you, so he doesn't sexually assault you or molest you or hurt you or take your life or do all the other horrible things he's trying to do. You can make him stop. You can also hit the guy behind you, smashing him in the face. You can straight punch, you can hook punch, you can uppercut, you can smash it down on top, you can reverse hammer fist, all with this in your hand, and it's just a little piece of wood. Now, I make these and sell these. There's a link in the description below if you want one of mine, or make your own. Get a piece of stick, get an old broomstick, cut a little piece off about 6 inches, get a carving knife. That's not fancy. You can tell I made it. Then sand it really well. I just like it. I like it because it's unique and it's different. And it has a lot of value for self-defense. It's very effective. This one, somebody else makes. They don't make these anymore. But look at that. There's a window breaker. You can buy all these pieces and put one together yourself. That's just 540 cord or paracord. PR cord. Military's failing me there. But you can run with this. Put it in your hand. Now you go out for your morning jog and you're running in the park, and that criminal alien comes running up who's hurt so many other people and they haven't held him accountable. And you can stick that in his face and make him back up and keep smashing him and raking him and pick up all that DNA to show the cops later so they're sure to get him this time. Smashing him behind you, smashing him in the head, smashing his face, all while you're holding this Yawara pocket stick. and that's just on there so you don't lose it out of your hand. Um, Amo Gomez or Amo Camos, I think, says, could you say the name of the book again, please? When violence is the answer. And the principle of the book is using violence to stop violence. And this is wonderful because I'm a big person. I might be much bigger than somebody, but anybody can use violence against me. My throat will collapse under the same amount of pressure that yours will. My eyes will pop out of my head the same way that yours will with the same amount of pressure. You can stick your thumbs into my eyes and pop them out, or reach in there, or scratch the cornea, dig in there, make them bleed, rip them down. You can rip the nose, you can pull the ear off the head. You can use violence against the violence he's trying to use against you. And then you don't have to get into a boxing match or a grappling match or do his jiu-jitsu with him. You don't have to do any of that. You now have the ability, once you read this book, When Violence is the Answer by Tim Larkin, and again, all that information is in the description of this video. Go there, order that book. It's the best book on self-defense I've ever read. And it clarifies it. Self-defense techniques will get you killed, get you injured. Self-defense principles, pay attention. They'll save your life, right? Starting with situational awareness. And I know I see Mike said situational awareness doesn't work or something. I forget what he said, but who cares? It's important. When you're running and you have your earbuds in, and you're not paying, or ear pods, and you're not paying attention, and especially if you're a young female, or not even young, you can be any age female, running by yourself in the park, on the beach, late at night, early in the morning, even these days in broad daylight, you have no situational awareness when this is sticking, when it's in your head. Same thing as if you're just walking. How many kids do we see? Not just kids, adults too, just walking like this. So put the phone in your pocket. Number 2, get in a better position, hands up and open. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what can I remove or destroy? These all come from that book. You're going to learn it very fast. Just read it once and you'll know it forever. And your hands are up and open. And then after that, violence of action, right? What can you hit them with? What can you remove or destroy? You're going to use elbows, knees. It doesn't matter. Do you know how to box? Do you know how to, you don't have to know any of that stuff. You were born kicking and screaming. We're all born kicking and screaming. We all know how to defend ourselves instinctively. If you read the book, it gives you that confidence to know how to use it, how to use what God gave you naturally. He gave you the right to self-defense, and he gave you all the tools, starting with this one right here. And when you read that book, you'll get it. All right. Yeah, Ole says, a dangerous thing, especially when struck unexpectedly. Amen. That's what we're talking about. And Mr. Dark Oak says, no use against someone using a gun. Someone pulls out a gun and shoots you dead. Mark, you're absolutely right. Short of that, learn how to defend yourself. Michael Jordan, number 23. What are we doing? I happen to know for a fact that you're not Michael Jordan. I won't tell you why, but it's good to see you. Let's see. Wooden peg versus gun. Who wins? That's so asinine. That's not even a question. That's not what this video is about. It's about using self-defense sticks against that thug, punk, opportunist who sees you out and thinks you're a victim and takes advantage of you, and you don't have your gun for whatever reason, or he knocks it out of your hand, or you're in a non-permissive environment like the courthouse, and some libraries, some hospitals still have or have the thing you got to go through, the metal detector, right? And they have law enforcement or security guards, and they're not going to let you go in there, but you got to go in. You got to see grandma, she's in the hospital, or your wife or your husband or your kid, or your wife just had a baby, or you're having a baby. You've got to go in there, and you can't take that with you, or you've got to travel, or you're going to a concert, or you're going to an event. So Samuel says, what is better to use, gun, knife, or brass knuckles? If you can defend yourself, if it's your home and you have, I carry every single day. I have a safe in my car. When I get out of my car, it goes back in the safe. Safe is attached to the car, so you can't remove the safe. But wherever I go, that I'm allowed to bring my self-defense tool, the one that shoots the projectiles, that's the one I carry. But I also have the skills of stick fighting. I'm not even saying carry a stick with you, although I carry this with me a lot, and I carry this with me a lot, and I have my collie sticks in the car, and I have a cane with me at all times. I do carry all these things with me. You don't have to, but if you carry the skills of stick fighting, you'll always know how to defend yourself. Anyway, so many great questions. Please put the questions in the in the comment section below, and let's start a um, conversation. Let's do more conversations. I've been doing a lot of push-ups lately. If you haven't been doing your push-ups, I recommend starting with 5 and then rest and do 5. And we're going to do a video on strength for self-defense. And it's going to make you faster, but what's also going to make you hit harder. And I'd like you to start with me with push-ups. Push-ups and air squats. We're going to make it easy.